Gonzo Education, Chapter 9, The University of Texas. Written by Gregory Brandt. The fall semester was about to begin, and I would soon realize my dream of becoming a student at UT. For as long as I can remember, it was the only school I wanted to go to. I had excellent grades and some nice extracurriculars, so I probably could have gone anywhere with a scholarship, but I've been planning this UT thing for years. Adam said all my classes were going to be full of rich white kids, maybe a few Asians, but I didn't believe him. I thought UT was going to be just as diverse as community college, except everyone was going to be much smarter. You're going to be the oldest in every class, he said. No way, there's always a few people over 25. This ain't community college, he said. I know how this works. Everyone in all of your classes are going to be younger and have more money. You don't know that, I said. UT has the largest undergraduate population in the country. There'll be a few older students than me. There were plenty of non-traditional students at ACC. I was a few years older than most, but there was always at least one person older than me in every class. During my first semester of community college, I had an instructor who asked everyone on the first day, "Who in here is closer to 30 years old than 20 years old?" It was relieving to see half the class raise their hands. I liked ACC. It had a laid-back Austin kind of vibe, but there were few UT students who were actually from Austin. The majority were from Texas, but most were from the small towns across the vast landscape. Austin is unlike every other city in Texas, so the people might as well have been from another planet. Some of the kids were from major cities like Dallas, Houston, or San Antonio, but even they were the kind that never left their wealthy suburbs. If they weren't from a suburb, they came from a small town, and either way, in my head at least, they were inexperienced brats who hadn't worked or suffered like I had. Texas House Bill 588, also known as the Top 10% Rule, ensures that the majority of students at UT are from Texas. The law guarantees high school students who graduated in the top 10% of their class, no matter how small, automatic admission to all state-funded universities. The most popular school is the University of Texas, and it's not even close. It didn't matter if you went to a highly competitive high school with thousands of students or one with a graduating class of 20. The law supposedly creates diversity, but it also guarantees that the vast majority of incoming freshmen are fresh out of high school. Over 81% of freshmen entering UT in the fall of 2008 were admitted because of this rule. It helps a particular type of student, one that's 18 and just graduated high school. If UT really wanted to create diversity, they should look at their student age bracket. According to their website, 95% of all UT undergraduates in 2008 were 25 years old or younger, and only 5% came from families that made less than $20,000 a year. 95%. You don't really get statistics that big. I was about to start going to school with the children of the elite. Bush was president, and his daughter had recently graduated from the same degree program that I was enrolled in. I should have known how different I'd feel after years of homelessness and hard labor. It was obvious in my first class on the first day. I walked in a few minutes late to a full classroom, and a few of the male students laughed at my arrival. I was caught off guard, perplexed. Nobody ever laughed at me at ACC. I don't remember ever receiving treatment like that before in my entire life. I may have been a few years older than them, but I couldn't see why that'd be something to laugh at. The rest of the day didn't go much better. I was the oldest student in every class, sometimes older than the teacher. I felt like a red M&M in a jar full of greens, and I wasn't ready for people to make such a big deal out of me either. I didn't like talking in front of people back then. I'd get nervous, so I prefer to sit in the back and let someone else have the floor, not using every crowd as an opportunity to boost my ego. UT wasn't what I thought it'd be, and I was reminded of closed conversation and a particular kind of disrespect I had not seen or thought about since high school. I learned a lot about myself that week, most notably how hard I'd become with all the different jobs, experiences, and heartaches I had behind me. When my financial aid check came, I rented a room in West Campus. I always wanted to live in that neighborhood, and I've been hanging out in the area since my first summer in Austin almost 10 years earlier. I've been to parties there, and I worked at one of the dormitories. But now that I was an official UT student, I thought it would be a good idea to live in UT's infamous party neighborhood. For years, I pictured myself romantically living in West Campus, but when it finally happened, it wasn't anything like I expected. I moved in with two roommates who I found on a Craigslist post that said, "Party Girls, 420 friendly." Their post caught my attention, but when I got there, I was disappointed to find that neither of them liked me very much. The proximity to campus was good, but their bedroom I was paying for was actually a dining room and the only entrance to their filthy kitchen. The day I moved in, one of the girls started asking about my parents. I told her I didn't have any, and she said, "Oh, so you're an orphan?" I knew an orphan my sophomore year, and she was surprisingly normal. "No, I'm not an orphan," I said. "I'm like 30. "What? You're 30?" she shrieked. "Well, I'm 26, almost 27, I said, calming her down. "Oh, okay, that's a relief," she said. "Don't fret. I knew a girl freshman year, and her boyfriend was like 28 or something." Ah! My two roommates would have their rich friends over day and night, despite some of them still being in high school. I was too old and poor for any of them to give me a chance. At least that's what I told myself. The West Campus party scene isn't a good place to stand out. I didn't fit in, but I didn't really want to either. These kids acted as if they were on a reality show, but in reality, they were just spending their parents' money on experiences they couldn't have had otherwise. I regret not having a better attitude. I didn't give many kids a chance, so how could I have expected them to give me one? I should have tried to make the best of the situation, but I didn't even try to see the good in anyone in the whole house. It was always me against them. A couple of the guys were okay. One of them I can think of. He always tried to get me to go to some of the parties in the neighborhood, but I never went.